when Phil first contacted me about this, I thought quickly about not my first ad, but the first, not like Nance, but the first time I felt that I was, how do I put this, was challenged to be in the role, I was an art director, in the role of an art director. And so let me explain a little bit. I started after college just waiting tables, and then I finally got a job at a little agency in Richmond. I applied to be the receptionist. And the president of the agency looked at me, he's like, are you out of your fucking mind? I'm not going to put you in the front desk. But you can be a new business, yeah, why? A new business sales guy. And I was like, all right, I could do that. And so I would drum up leads and everything. But the people that were having fun at the agency were the creatives. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's awesome. And so I went to, I always went to lunch with them and hung out with them and tried to do ads. And so the first ad I actually did, which is the crux of the story, was a hand bursting through a billboard holding a Honda car that said, we'll put a car in your hands for less, right? And it ran and it was up, and I took my girlfriend in the car and drove by it and was like, yeah, awesome. And then obviously I really sucked, so I went to Portfolio Center and got an actual degree, and then started at Leonard Monahan, and that was a really good place. I don't know if you guys remember Leonard Monahan. There was so much talent going through there. It was a fantastic place, and I was lucky to ride the coattails of some of the best. And I got asked to cover for a Polaroid shoot that was being done in Minneapolis, and the art director just left, so I was filling in. And I was warned that the client was a real starfucker, and then I had to, act like I knew what I was doing. I had to act like, I'm the shit, and you're lucky to have me on your shoot. And it was terrifying, because I'd never been on a shoot. And so I sort of played it off really well. I wore, like, ironic T-shirts, and my hair was long then and everything, and I acted aloof. But on the set, something came up. So, there was a lighting question, and everyone was around the table, and we're looking at pictures, and someone said, well, how are we going to see your face if this isn't lighting like this? And the whole table just turned and looked at me. And that was the moment I was like, I don't fucking know. I don't have any idea at all. And I remember in that moment, thinking back, it was not like your life flashed before your eyes, but a little version of that. I just remember growing up, I just watched so much TV. Like, I watched so much TV that I think I just sort of inherently thought I could do ads, like, without thinking about doing anything else. And when I got out of college, I'm like, that'd be good. I didn't realize that all this watching TV and all this reading magazines, all this wasting time, actually was leading towards something. And that sort of propelled me a bit through school. Like, well, no one knows advertising better than me. I've consumed more than anybody ever, just sitting on my couch all the time. And then I thought, with that, plus the training, plus these really good people at Leonard Monahan hired me, and I was lucky to work there, I just had this wave that overcame the fear of being on the spotlight. Like, I can, all right, if not me, who? I've had, again, countless hours just looking at ads and having an opinion, or looking at TV, having an opinion, looking at movies. And I was like, you know what? All this slouching off might mean something. And I actually do have an opinion about this. And I actually, it sort of just organically bubbled up. I'm like, I know what to do. We just put the spotlight on her face here and put the backlighting here. And this answer just sort of rumbled its way out of me. And it sounded good. And everyone's like, yeah, awesome. And all the heads turned away. And I was like, yeah. I mean, it sort of came up organically. I mean, I'm sure this all happened in the space of a second. And so afterwards, I can backfill it. But and it felt really good. And that was the moment I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I have a right to do this. It might sound arrogant, but it's like, I went through enough training. I went through enough thinking about it. I went through enough worrying about it. I spent enough money on it. There comes a time when you have to put all that worry aside and just go, you know what? I can do this. And like Nance said, you might suck a lot in the beginning, but you've earned your way into doing it. So embrace that and feel really good about that. I hope that came across right. But yeah, that's it. And it was just that moment, pivoting in that moment to, I don't want to be an art director. I am an art director. And who's going to tell me I'm not? And the campaign turned out fine. It wasn't great. It turned out fine. and I went on to do more, So it's like, yeah, you sort of have to convince yourself and tell yourself you can do this and own it. You know what I mean? Just own it in yourself. That's it. That's the story. I did, and it looks fantastic, right? That's my story. Yeah.